Can you believe this hat hair? It's what you get when you're trying to save the planet and bike everywhere. I'm gonna have to wear this hat for the video, I'm sorry. Okay, let's go. Hey everyone, disclaimer before we begin, this video is not specifically directed at anyone, but you might think it's directed at you if you've been through my class and well, barely passed. So if you've been through the system or you're in the system now, you or your friends may have experienced that bare 50% mark. You know what I'm talking about, when that teacher blesses you with the 50 when your mark is actually a 49, a 48, or even a 46. You should have failed. But you know, some students actually aim for that boosted 50% mark. What are you thinking? Do you actually like to suffer? Because you're going to be doing it for the 3 of your 4 years in high school, which are supposed to be the time of your life. Technically. Why? I know this won't reach all of you, but I'm gonna try anyways. So let's go. Is 50 really good enough to pass? No. In anything other than school, a bare 50% would be unacceptable. Is a 50% free throw passable? No. Is a 50% on a driving test passable? No. But all of a sudden when we get to education, it's okay. Why? Look, if you got 50% on a course, it means you know 50% of the material. But it also means you don't know the other 50%. Does that count as demonstrating a mastery of the content? I don't think so. Is 50% really good enough to pass? Again, no. Because you probably went into the exam with a mark higher than 50, but failed the exam which dropped your mark to below 50. What does that mean? An exam is supposed to reflect the entire course's content accurately. Getting a mark lower than 50% of the exam means you actually don't know more than 50% of the material. So even if final mark is a pass, you already forgot more than half the course's material. And it's not even September. What are you gonna do after 2 months of summer? Is 50% really good enough to pass? In the real world, it isn't. What does that mean? It means high school is a dumbed down version of reality. It's a skewed, bad representation of reality. In fact, I think as a teacher, I'm doing my students a disservice by passing them if they have a 46 or above. Example, in grad school or any kind of professional school where you're learning to be a pro at something, you're gonna either get a pass or a fail mark. What is a pass? 70% and above. Anything under that is considered a fail. And why does that make sense? Because a 70% above is a better reflection of mastering the content. Getting a 51% doesn't make you a pro at something. That's why 51% is a fail in that program. A 69% is a fail in that program. Be honest, would you want a doctor who's mastered med school with a 50% or someone who's actually mastered it? Or say you want to grow your small business and you want professional opinion. Do you want the opinion of someone who's mastered business school with a 50% or someone who actually mastered it? Or say you want professional advice or therapy on relationships. Do you want a counselor who's mastered psychology with a 50% or someone who actually knows their stuff? 50% is never enough to move on. Therefore, 50% is not good enough to pass. I lied. 50% is enough to pass for one specific situation and one situation only. It is when you're not planning to continue this subject ever again in your life. In other words, if you're not going to use that material in the future, treat that course as a hoop that you have to jump through and then get out of there. Even then, I'm not a big supporter because my subject is math. Students who've been through my class know that the deep thinking that I push you to do in my class is supposed to be a transferable skill to other more important aspects of your life. Honestly, who cares about the math? Who cares about the numbers? I need to know that you are able to think for yourself, that you're able to make your own conclusion, that you are able to make your own judgments. So to say that you're bad at math is sort of like saying you're bad at thinking. Well, if you can actually admit to yourself that, oh, I'm bad at thinking, so I'm not gonna think, I'm not sure what to say to you. Your issue is not math. Your issue is not willing to push your boundaries, really. And if you've been in my class, you know I'm constantly trying to get you to think, to constantly try to get you to buy into the wonders of math. If not to appreciate and really just get hyped about what these numbers can do for you, then to at least be better equipped as a deeper thinker for next year. Look, if you're not interested in the math or interested in deeper thinking, I change up my teaching style so that you'll at least find some success in my course and pass. Even if that means that you're gonna forget all the math we've done together in the next year. Essentially what I'm saying is, If you're not interested in math, I would love to be that teacher who finishes your math journey with you. If you're never gonna do math again, let's end it together on a high note. But if you are planning to do higher math next year, don't expect me to be sympathetic and bump your 46, 47, or even 48 to a 50. I am not gonna bless you with a 50 because I'm a nice guy. If anything, be thankful I'm being harsh on you because I know that you can do better. So, I guess the bottom line in this video is stop doing math for the mark. Instead, I invite you, I implore, I beg you to fall in love with math. Give it a shot. Investigate how a string of numbers turns into a language that helps explain the wonders of the entire universe and everything in it and how they all interact with each other. There's a quote that says how if God does exist, he must have been a mathematician. And you know what? After my journey with math, I'm inclined to agree. Math is a language that serves as the bare bones of all things science, from the biggest of galaxies to the tiniest unit of matter. All the interactions can be explained with math. It's a language made by human beings to explain things that aren't made by human beings. Isn't that mind-blowing? Okay, that's all I have for today. It was partially a rant, but it's also partially in hopes that I would inspire you to not be satisfied with that pass. Thumbs if you liked it, if you loved it, sub and share. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.